Hey guys, I'm Westy, and I'm super stoked to be here today, not only because I'm back from New Zealand and had a phenomenal time on that trip. I'm putting together some of the footage to show you guys what it was like, but I also have some new gear that I want to show you. I have some regulators from DeepSix and a new BC from, or backplate and wing from xDeep, and then some odds and ends that I'm going to show you. They're already opened because I was going through some of this with the guy that I bought them from. Shout out to Ed at Oahu Travel Divers. He's been super great to work with. He let me borrow / loaned it to me a set of regs and a BC while my stuff was on order. So I was allowed to keep diving and I didn't have to keep paying for rental gear, even on my trip to New Zealand. So I don't know if he wants me to openly advertise that, but he was super cool about it and I really appreciate it, so huge shout out to them. Enough with this intro though. If you're interested in seeing what's in the boxes and hearing me talk more about it, then please like the video, subscribe, or just keep watching, and that helps me a ton and it tells me that I'm doing something right, especially as I try to put out more videos to grow the channel. So yeah, let's switch real quick and we'll get down to it. Hey there. The reason why I chose this camera angle is so that I can get a little bit closer. It's also movable. This is the first time I've done this type of camera angle though, so if you have feedback, I'm happy to take it. So please leave that in the comments below. I think we're gonna save the BC for last. So let's talk about the regulators. And the reason why I'm doing this camera angle is so that I can get a little bit closer if need be, and so that you can see it a little bit easier. So the regulators that I got are, I got two signature series from DeepSix second stages. So I'll show those real quick. Right here, you can see the logo. Get a little bit closer. Called DeepSix. I got it in pink because my fins are pink right now, and I don't know, it just seems kind of fun, and I thought I'd commit to the bit of having pink stuff right now. I can always change it out later, so I just thought I just think it's kind of fun, and it's yours. You know, everybody's gonna have red or black or white, and so yeah, I just thought pink was fun. So yeah, so I got two of the same. Of the signature series, and I did that because I am doing a long hose setup. So you'll see here, I'll try to make this a little bit clearer. This is the first stage of the regulator, and then from the first stage I have this short hose. This short hose will be connected to a necklace, so it'll sit right about here, and I can just pop that into my mouth if need be. And so that'll be my setup will be primary donate. So this short hose will be, I believe it's about, what is that, about 18, no, it's about 22 to 24 inches, I'd say. I did know the measurement, but I've kind of forgotten it. Anyway, that's one of the second stages, and then the second stage is on a much longer hose. I believe it's about 170 centimeters, something like that. Can't quite remember the measurement. Anyway, it's on a much longer hose, and this will come out of the first stage. It'll go around my right side. I'll have to tuck in that excess. It'll go around my left shoulder and then around my neck, and it'll sit right here, so that if I need to, I can just grab the regulator, pass it to a buddy, and then I can swap to the necklace that's down by my mouth. And then this right here is where it'll connect to the BCD, so I can inflate and deflate. And then obviously there's the SPG, the submersible pressure gauge. And it's kind of nice because it's in bar and in PSI. So the reason that I went with DeepSix, primarily, I've heard really great things as to the quality of the gear. Additionally, the owner is extremely active. It's nice to hear things directly from the manufacturer. For example, the owner went on Facebook and talked about how it's kind of nonsense that you can't soak your regulators as long as you have the dust cap in place, that you actually should soak your regulators post dive to get as much of the salt water out of there. And so just hearing stuff like that directly from the manufacturer also makes me feel good. It's a smaller company. and supporting smaller companies is something that I like. And so this was definitely a bit of a splurge cost-wise, but my view is if it's something that I want to keep me alive while I'm underwater, I want to be sure that it's going to be of quality and that no one else has really messed with it. And the reason why I went with the long hose setup is because I think it makes more sense for me. I'm not trying to like put myself in a box or anything like that, but the divers that I've seen use them seem very streamlined, and that's something that I would like to replicate, is having all my gear as streamlined as possible and having as little drag as possible so that I have to use as little effort as possible to move. And another thing is, I think I agree with the line of thinking that in an out-of-air emergency, the person who needs a regulator is not going to kindly ask if they want, if you could kindly give them your regulator. I've heard a lot of people saying that, use this argument, definitely. They're not gonna ask, they're just going to take it right out of your mouth. And if that's the case, I will have a necklace right here that I can just dip my mouth down and grab it. And so that is kind of what attracts me to it. I definitely want to get some more training in the long hose. I think there's definitely a limit that you can learn from online. Regardless, I don't want to keep yapping. Let's talk about the next piece of equipment. The last things in the box is just a bunch of odds and ends. He gave me, this is a care kit, has like a zip tie, an extra mouthpiece, some O-rings. There's some bungee that he was nice enough to toss in for free so I can make a necklace. I still need to do that. We'll save these to talk about next. This is a maintenance kit. And then he threw in a free xDeep bolt snap. So that's pretty nice. I've never used the xDeep bolt snaps, but I'm going to probably put this one near my regulator on the long hose, because that will be the one that I'm clipping and unclipping the most, I feel like. Putting it onto the D-ring, taking it off when I jump in the water, or before I jump in the water, all that type of stuff. So this one will probably go on the regulator, and he was right, they are really nice. They just feel heavy, they feel quality, they slide easy. There's a nice long bit right here that's easy to grab onto. I mean, everything's easy when you're not wearing gloves, but it seems like it would also be preferred for gloves as well. And then this is just a regular bolt snap that I got from Dive Gear Express. I was using this on the SPG on the rental gear so that I could clip it and it wasn't just hanging about. And so this is just a regular one that I'll probably keep on using on the SPG. The last piece of equipment that was in the box before I get to the BCD were these sub-gravity weight pouches. And the reason why I want to talk about them is I was not super impressed with any of the weight solutions that I've seen for BCDs. They don't feel super streamlined. Of course, you can get the weight pouches that go around your waist. You can get the ones that go on the cam bands on the back of your backplate and wing. I've heard those can be a little bit unwieldy, and I'm not super interested in droppable weight. Maybe I should be, and I'd be interested to hear more feedback on this, but that the more advanced you get, the less you need droppable weights or ditchable weights. And on top of that, I've heard from several people that they've been diving for 10, 20, 30 years and have never needed ditchable weight. And I think there are a lot of other ways to mitigate ditchable weight that would be more effective than sort of like these bulky in the way weight pouches. So anyway, that's where these bad boys come in. A shout out to Larry W. Fowler on Scuba Board. I'm definitely lurking on there, and I was looking for some sort of solution to how I could get weight without these different pouches that they advertise. Also, they're expensive. I'll post a screenshot of the, love xDeep. The quality of their equipment is phenomenal, but it's just so expensive when you're already spending, I think the BC was about $900. I didn't do any customization. And I also got the DIR harness. And so I don't have any of the special clips or anything like that. The only upgrade I made was I got steel cam bands because I wanted them to last as long as possible. And it's like $70 for 2 weight pouches. And I was like, or maybe that was 1, I don't even remember. It was just like a little bit more than I think I was willing to pay. Again, shout out to Larry W. Fowler. I found his post on Scuba Board. I'll try to post it as I'm talking about this. But you can, and I don't know, they probably don't want me advertising this either, but you can reach out to Dive Right and Scuba. And if you add these subgravity weight pouches and you add a grommet, and then you add a book screw, which is this right here. I'll bring that over in a second. They will add the grommet for you, which I know can be a tricky process. I'm not very handy or technical, and so I was happy to let them handle it. And yeah, so you just open this, you put your weight in, and then the book screw, this part of the book screw will attach to the backside of the plate. And the other awesome thing that I didn't notice, I went on a bit of a side quest yesterday because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't have metal on metal contact, and so I need to get some washers, some rubber washers that will fit these screws so it won't corrode. I think these are the Hog book screws, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll try to, wait, give me 1 second. Let's see. You see that little black ring right there around the book screw? That's actually like a rubber O-ring. And so you won't have a metal on metal contact. I think you could add like a washer if you wanted to for security, but I think I might try out just the book screw, and it has that on both sides. So that's extremely handy in my opinion. So yeah, I would really recommend that for anyone that is not super concerned about ditchable weight or needs more weight. The other thing is that these weights are super customizable in that I can put them anywhere on the BC and I can adjust my trim as needed. So if I'm shoulder heavy, I can move these further down towards my waist and they'll work just the same. So that's kind of one of the other main reasons why I was so interested in them. Enough yapping, let's get to the fun part, which is the BCD. I don't have a lighting set up, so I'm trying to use as much of this natural light as possible. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box. So in the packet, it just says, things you need to know, please open this envelope before using the equipment. It has obviously been opened. Make sure there's nothing in there. It's a user manual, so I'll go through some of this and just ensure that I've read some of it. And then they also add some xDeep stickers, which is pretty cool. And then this is the BC. I got the DIR harness, like I mentioned. There's gonna be a lot of clanking as I get this moved. Cool. So we have the shoulder straps. They come with D-rings on both sides. And then it comes with this little rubber gasket right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little rubber gasket. Or I guess you could call it a D-ring or a trapper keeper. I don't know what you want to call it, but that's supposed to be so that you can route your your inflator hose through there. So that's that. This is the back plate. It's shiny. It looks so new. I can't wait to ruin it with salt water. And then here is the crotch strap. I decided to go with the double-sided or the V-shaped crotch strap as opposed to the single one down the middle, just for comfort. And then if down the road I decide I need to change it, I can always do that. So not really a huge deal. This is the backside. This little warning label, and then one of the cam bands is already put on. I need to put the other one on. And it got a little dirty already because we were measuring it on a tank and the tank was dirty. And it was sort of like its baptism into the diving world, just where everything is dirty and nothing stays clean. The other thing I might point out right here is the dump valve. You just pull this and it dumps, and then, yeah. As you can tell by the amount of tail I still have on this BC, I got a lot of work to do as far as fitting and adjusting and getting comfortable on the, getting things where I want it. But I kind of have this habit when I get a new piece of clothing, like this shirt, for example, is I wear it all the time, and I don't know, just to like get myself comfortable in it at home so that when I'm outside, I guess I feel more comfortable. So I might take a little bit of that approach with wearing the BC, you know, just get used to it, how it should feel, how I want it to feel, that kind of thing, so that when I get in the water, it all goes out the window because it's totally different. Just like when you go out in public, kind of. But anyway, that concludes everything that I wanted to talk about as far as new gear. But if you enjoyed it, you liking or commenting or subscribing or even just watching the video helps a ton. So I really appreciate that. And I'm excited to put out the video about New Zealand and hopefully some more videos about this gear as I break it in. So if you have any comments or thoughts on things I should do next or what I should consider with my setup, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, it's been awesome and I really appreciate all the support. Thanks guys, take it easy.